So I just saw the movie Insidious. I guess it's a sequel. I've never seen any other ones. Looks like they intend to keep it going though. And I do these movie reviews for Christians, so I'm always looking for things to talk about theologically and to pray the movies. And there's a lot of spiritual, theological stuff in this. If you, in terms of the darkness and evil and things like that, Hollywood style, of course. And that's the problem, is that we've gotten so accustomed. We've gotten, modern Americans, even people around the world, have gotten their understanding or misunderstanding of evil from Hollywood. And it might not be true or accurate at all. If you ever heard the saying, it's the banality of evil, meaning evil is more about not caring about others, not showing love, not being compassionate, not having empathy, things like that. It's the laziness, everyday laziness of not caring for others. Maybe the greater evil than the evil they show in a movie such as this. It's kind of like a Ghostbusters, but a little more sinister, a little more insidious. That's exactly it. A little more insidious. Killing, murders, the father involved in the ill treatment of the daughter, who could see the darkness and the spirits and at a young age, or even real mistreatment. As it turns out, her dad may have actually been mistreating real people in that prison, even killing some of them. And so there's a lot to pray about and talk about, but I would leave it at simply saying that we need to pray as Christians and act as Christians in a caring manner that reflects the love of God for us. And try not to be selfish and self-serving and just thinking of yourself. I'm here in Southern California, and people are just so selfish and so self-centered. From young to old. It's a very selfish culture here. Anybody else out there? I know I've been to other cultures, other cities. I didn't grow up here, so I can compare it to where I grew up. And this is the most selfish, self-centered culture probably in the world, Southern California. And so they learn there were a lot of kids in this movie too. I mean, teens. And that's the way they learn about so-called evil. You know, the Halloween type Hollywood evil. Scary moments. And scary moments in like a spooky, like a haunted house. The house happened to be in New Mexico, sort of the parsonage, so to speak, for the prison. Her dad was the warden, I think, or some kind of prison official. And you don't know which is, there's so many different flashbacks and flash forwards. You kind of, lose track of what's actually being portrayed as real or haunted or spirit or human. You know, and nobody cares by that time. You're just like, this is weird and crazy, and you probably get your money's worth if that's what you wanted. But but the kids don't learn about real evil from these films. But that's what they go away thinking of. You know, that the guy calls, because this little girl later on in life, it starts in, like, I don't know, in the 50s or something, and it flashed forward to 2010, and now she's an elderly lady and runs an operation kind of like Ghostbusters. It's called Spectral Sightings or something like that, with two young men, and she's like the one who can sense the spirits, and they get called and they go out, and then she gets a call to go back to her childhood house, and that's where she goes, and there's this guy living there. He bought the house, or maybe the whole prison. I mean, and the prison is no longer being used, obviously. Who would want to live in a place like that? The guy. There's a scene. The guy says, "I put my life savings into this spooky old cobweb house in prison." You know, and he lives there supposedly alone. And he has one room that's haunted. And he wants them to do something about it. He's creepy already. The minute you meet him, you feel he's creepy. And he has like a case full of Bibles in front of the door, uh, where he's been haunted. The room that he's been haunted, he won't go in there any longer. But it turns out this creepy guy, is like harboring a a young lady down in the basement of the house. He kidnapped her and apparently is, assaulting her or whatever. And so the Ghostbuster lady finds her, and he almost kills them when he finds her, when they find this young girl in the basement. So you're thinking when you see these Bibles, you think this guy's like spiritual, because he even throws her the Bible when she goes into that haunted room. You think he's a good guy because he believes in the Bible. And it turns out he's a kidnapper. They end up taking him off, or no, he actually got killed by one of the Ghostbusters, but they saved the girl. And then she has more flashbacks, and she realizes her dad, the prison warden or official, was like keeping young people, young women or kids, down in the basement of this house, and that he was like some kind of creepy weirdo too. So you just don't know which way is up in this film. The point of it being is that this takes you away from the reality of the real evil in our world that's right around us every day, not the Halloween Hollywood type of evil, but the stuff the selfishness, the banality of evil, right next door. You know, right in the classroom across the class the the desk in your classroom right next to you. Think about that person, not not like in a jealous, petty way like kids do, but be compassionate, show care and concern for others. Even in this movie theater, as I walked in, by the way, and this is the first time I've been here at this Santa Anita. This young guy, I'm 50 years old now, and he takes my ticket and says, "Hey, buddy," in a kind of a sarcastic,